square. In completing the square, the first step is to move a c to the other side. Divide everything by a. Take 1/2 b squared and add it to both sides. Factor the left side and solve. X squared minus 4x plus 20 equals 0. Your first step would be to subtract the 20 to cancel the 20 out on the left side. That would give you x squared minus 4x equals negative 20. Your next step would be to divide the a. Since a is 1, that is unnecessary, because a divided by any number is itself. Moving on to the next step. You would take 1/2 of the b term and square it. The b term is negative 4. You would take 1/2 of negative 4 and square it. 1/2 of negative 4 is negative 2. Negative 2 squared is positive 4. You would get x squared minus 4x plus 4 on the left side. On the right side, you would subtract positive 4 from negative 20, which will give you negative 16. In our next step, we will factor. We will take x plus or minus 1/2 the b and square it. 1/2 the b, as we know, is negative 2. So x minus negative 2, and you square it. That equals negative 16. So it'd be x minus 2 squared equals negative 16. Step 5, you will solve. To get rid of the square root over the x minus 2, you would square root both sides, and that would give you x minus 2 equals the square root of negative 16. There could never be a negative square root, so you have to take out the negative 1. The negative 1 would turn out to be an imaginary number, which is I. I equals the square root of negative 1. You would take the square root of 16, which is 4, and then you would subtract 2. Then you would add 2, and your answer would be x equals plus or minus 4i plus 2. An object is thrown upward, and its height over time can be modeled by the equation h equals negative 16t squared plus 30t plus 20. Find what is the maximum height reached by the object, and when does it reach that height? When will the object reach 15 feet? An object is thrown upward, and its height over time can be modeled by the equation h equals negative 16t squared plus 30t plus 20. Find what is the maximum height reached by the object, and when does it reach that height? When will the object reach 15 feet? To find the maximum height of this parabola, you have to find the vertex. In order to find the vertex, you have to transform this equation into vertex form. Standard vertex form is y equals a x minus h squared plus k. The steps for writing vertex form is moving the c to the other side, dividing by a, adding 1/2 the b squared to both sides, factor, and then get y by itself. In step 1, you would move c to the other side. You would do that by subtracting 20 on both sides. Then you would divide by a. A is negative 16. You would divide everything by a. That would leave you with y minus 20 over negative 16 equals t squared minus 30t over 16. In your next step, you would divide half of the b term and square it, which would give you 225 over 256. You would add this to both sides. Then you would factor the left side, which would give you 225 over 256 plus y minus 20 over negative 16 equals t minus negative 15 over 16 squared. Next, you would solve. Then you would subtract 225 over 256 to the other side. Then you would multiply by negative 16 on both sides. That would give you y minus 20 equals negative 16, t minus 15 over 16 squared plus 225 over 16. Then you would subtract 20 from both sides. This will give you your final answer. Y equals negative 16, t minus 15 over 16 squared plus 545 over 16.